Okay, here we go. Oh, we are live. This is real. It is loading up, going to be a bit of a delay. It's like a 10-second delay, but I see the thing loading up. Oh my God, let me press mute. Yes, it is muted. I do see your beautiful faces. We are here right now to discuss cosmetic surgery in the Black community in the wake of passing of Miss Jackie O. Now, it has not been confirmed that she passed away due to cosmetic surgery, but all hands are pointing in that direction. So we're here not only to talk about her, but we are here to talk about cosmetic surgery and how BBLs in particular, and how they have been impacting our community. We have people from all over the country. We have Kansas City represented, as well as the DMV, and of course, the Bay Area. So we do have people, you will hear their voices. We have people, you will see their faces and hear their voices. We have people who will be sounding off in the comment section as well. So, so great to have my tribe here. And I wanna start us off with a statistic, if you will, and that is well, first off, RIP to Jackie O. She was the mother of DC Young Fly's children. She had 3 children. They had 3 children, one Nova, 6 years old, Nola, 2 years old, and the other Prince Nehemiah, who was 10 months old. I was reading an article from News Nation, and that article stated that between 2020 and 2021, the number of people getting BBLs increased by 37%. And I want to just throw this out there to my panelists. Why do you all think that number has been rising, even with the danger of this procedure? I was wondering if anybody had any takes on that.
Can you read those numbers again?
Yeah, so I have between 20 and 2021, the year 20 and 2021, the number of people getting BBLs, Brazilian butt lifts, rose by 37%. I also, it says 1 in 3,000 people die from getting BBLs as well. And so I was wondering, given that inherent danger, why do you all think that this number has been increasing? What's that?
Because
Oh,
I guess women want to have that Nicki Minaj or J-Lo type of butt.
okay. And that's Janice speaking, by the way. Yes.
I think this hope this doesn't come off as a long way around to say something specific to that number. That's why I asked to repeat it. But I think there's a rise in all forms of attention seeking. This just happens to have technology on its side, as far as being out there in the ether and in the way that we receive it. I'm from a generation where back in the late 80s, 90s, it was the hair. Before that, when I was a youngster, I have a brother and sister and a group of cousins that are good 8, 9 years older than me. I'm watching them where colorism in the Black community was in season. So the seasons went from lighter skin with a different color eyes, and then that transitioned to the hair. And then by the time it became a thing, women with the big butts was in season, a la Sir Mix-a-Lot and all like that. So seasons, they come and they go. And I just think now it's so in our face, we just don't allow people to have a season. So the women who were always looked down upon or bypassed by the mating landscape, because of the size of their butt. Now it's their season, and the people without it feel like, I can't let them have their season. Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's no different than how we go to our first high school class reunion, and that one person who had no problem getting dates in high school, suddenly, they don't look so hot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, ooh, what happened to them?
Okay.
Nothing happened to them. It just ain't their season. They
Okay.
got what they wanted, and it was no hard work for them in high school.
Okay.
And a lot of us can't, and it happens with the guys. They got guys with painted on beards now. Like
Sorry.
Rick Ross did that thing. He blew up or whatever. Teddy Pendergrass, really, if you want to go back a ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I say all that to say, I think it's a season that many of us would, you name it, insecurities.
Okay.
And I think 2020 probably did a number to that, where we all took a real hit, a real blow to our self-esteem, and our socialization that we thought we can always rely on, and we sat at home for 2020, and then boom, I'm not finna let the big girl have her season, so I got to go do this. I'm gonna do it the cheap way, and unfortunately, here we are.
Okay. Okay. Appreciate that. Um, I saw it looked like Adjoa, it looked like you were going to say something.
Yeah, I feel like, so when I think of that kind of like a Coca-Cola shaped body, I think the first person we really saw was maybe J-Lo, at least from my generation. And then after that, I think the Kardashians kind of blew up. And that's when it became more visible that, this is an attractive kind of figure. And I think that with the rise of social media and people really seeing how much attention the Kardashians got, especially Kim, people just started wanting to emulate that and, trying to get that same level of attention. And then you add on the fact that now you can monetize these, like you can monetize your image. You can monetize the experience that other people have of you. That adds to people just now wanting to, I guess, venture on the regular careers anymore. Now the career is being an Instagram model. And if you want to be an Instagram model, then BBL is the way to go, because then you get more likes, you get more visibility. I mean, you get more attention. And so, yeah, it's a bunch of factors mixed up to create this rise, as you say. But yeah, that's my take on it.
There was, so Todd talked about the season, right? And things change and different people are in vogue at different times. I understand. But wasn't there always a space for a woman shaped like Aaliyah, for example? Like within the Black community, like a woman that doesn't have, like little booties matter. You know what I mean? A girl that didn't have a huge rear end, but maybe she was well put together. It's just interesting to me how I understand social influence or social media, but I feel like things happen for a reason. It feels very like deliberate, and I'm wondering what is behind that. It's really really interesting. I don't know. When you guys found out about Jackie O, and even if you did not know her, but when you found out that her passing was probably linked to plastic surgery, and she's 32 years old and had 3 beautiful children, what was the first thing that went through your all's mind? And I want to actually, we have Portia on the chat, and Portia has some things that she wanted to do. I'm remembering now, Portia, you wanted to say something before you got too deep into what you have to get into. But Portia, what did you want to say first? You wanted to chime in early. Can you hear me, Portia?
I can hear you. I'm driving. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
Okay. I wanted to I wanted to chime in. You called my name, but I'm driving. So if you can't hear me, just let me know. And then when I stop, I'll come back.
Okay.
But first of all, I wanted to say my condolences to the young lady's family and loved ones and friends and supporters. Because when I was devastated. I don't know this young lady, but I don't know her personally, but I met her in person. I met her in person at the Oakland airport, and I was surprised that she's from Oakland. I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
Yes. And I met her at the Oakland airport, and she was with her daughter. She only had one child at the time. And I recognized her daughter because I have a son her age, and they made all these YouTube videos and, cute little stuff. And if you're on social media, if you're a mom, you probably seen her daughter online. And so we were in line together, and I talked to her for a brief moment, but I remember the conversation because the young lady was so sweet. You know how some people just have a sweet spirit? It was so sweet. I was like, and beautiful. She just probably didn't have any makeup on, and she had on a sweatsuit, and she was just sweet and beautiful and kind and down to earth because we laughed about traveling with kids and yada, yada, yada. So I just wanted to put that out there because she was the sweetest soul. And it seems like, it's just so sad because it seems like God takes away his angels early, like those earth angels, he pulls them out. Now, on the flip side of the conversation regarding cosmetic surgery, as a mother, I have considered it. I've definitely considered. I only have one child. I've talked to other mothers, and they've also considered it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's, I've thought about it, and I've thought about the pros and cons. And one of the reasons that I haven't gone through with, it was like a big mommy makeover, is I don't want to pass away because of surgery, because it's a huge thing. Like I've thought about that. Not because of, I want to get a guy's attention or anything like that. It's just after you house a human in your body and you birth it, your body changes. And I'm not sure if any of the other women on here are mothers or who can experience that or chime into that, but your whole body changes. I love the way I look, but it's just certain parts that could get a nip tuck. Not because of Instagram, not because of social media, nothing like that. It's just in my head, I looked a certain way for 30 plus years, and now my body's changed because I had a baby. I can only imagine what that young lady was going through because she had 3 kids, and she's in this industry where it says you have to look this way to compete. Okay. So I just wanted to put that out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
That was a lot. Sorry, that was a lot.
No. That's super important. You've considered getting it. Wow. So for you though, why, like, do you feel like you're in like a competition, if you will, even though you're not in the public eye?
No, and that's the thing, like most moms that you meet, because we've had our bodies for a certain amount of time, and when we share them with our children, our loved ones, we may not snap back. Like my mother, when she had her first kid, mind you, she was 18, but she snapped back. She looked so good. And when I didn't snap back, I was like, what's wrong with me? I have the snapback genes. So, but I just thought like mama, what's up? But don't laugh. But no, but because your body stretches, your body changes, things happen. And I just kind of want to look like me. Like I feel like I don't look like myself. But I've learned to embrace the new body that I have. And like I said, I don't know if I was in the public eye, would I? There are other surgeries that are less invasive. I've actually got a consultation for one of them, and I'm like, do I want to spend that kind of money to get this little fat sucked out of my stomach. I don't think I want to do that. So I do work out a lot. I do eat, change my diet a little bit to accommodate, but at the same time, the minimal invasive surgery is not all the way off the table, because I want to look how I want to look, no matter what anybody has to say.
Ooh.
Am I willing to die for it? No, I'm not willing to die for it. So I'm not getting no mommy makeover, because that's like 3 or 4 surgeries in one. But it's a cold game out there, especially if you're in the public eye. But I just want to look a certain way. So I'm trying to keep working out, keep doing what I have to do. So it's a thought process that goes back and forth in my mind.
Listen, I really thank you for your honesty. We have Reginald with his hand up, but first I was just thinking, I know there's so much pressure on women, appearance and women, physical appearance. It's a different kind of thing. I, as a man, it's different. I understand, but what I can equate it to is, you talked about, you get a certain age, things change. You want that old thing back. I understand. I used to be obsessed with my hair. For people who don't know, I used to have my waves dipping, my Murrays and my sporting wave, my wave cap, my 360s. It was serious. It was a huge part of my identity, having that honeycomb. I got a little older, dreadlocks to my shoulders. It was serious, man. I'm in a bay. I was going crazy, y'all. I was in college, my hair started falling out. My hairline would never be the same. As I understand, they have surgeries now that could handle that for me. I could get my whole hairline back, but I don't want to do it. God don't want me to have a hairline. It's different. It's different now. I have to make do. And that's how I look at it. Like, my body's changing and I have to make do. And it's just interesting to hear people like, no, I'm not. No, I want to get it back. I don't know. It's just hard for me to understand, you know what I mean? Like, things change. Like, I just think there's a danger in fighting that. There's a danger in fighting it. And before I get to Reginald, thank you so much. There are some people that are commenting in this chat here, which you all can't see on the YouTube live. So I'm gonna read some of these comments right now. And Nisi said, in regard to me talking about there's always room for like the slender Black woman, right? She said, indeed, Porter, Aaliyah, Sierra, Zoe Kravitz, Lisa Bonet, beauty comes in all shapes and sizes. And then Vicky says, lots of women in the adult industry also get a lot of surgical enhancements to be more in demand, to get more followers and attention, to get more sponsors and endorsements, and to earn more money. Okay. And then Todd Parker's appreciating Portia for being frank. I appreciate Portia for being frank and honest as well. Okay, for sure. Okay, so I want to take a commercial break. Not a break, but I want to tell people, go to the YouTube live. If you haven't gone to the YouTube live, go to the YouTube live. There are people commenting in the YouTube live. Hey, I see you. Okay, do that in the YouTube live for sure. Appreciate you, Mr. Do That. And then Traveling Archip Podcast, try to join, but it's buffering. Okay, keep trying. All my people and the YouTube live, please like this, and drop those comments in the YouTube live. Yo, Reginald, thank you for your patience. You're on. What up?
What up, man? Good to hear from you again.
Yeah, good to hear from you too. Is that Chi-Town?
Is that what?
Is that Chi-Town Reggie?
Oh yeah, yes it
Hey, Chi-Town in the building. What up, Reg?
That's a tall order you're putting me on now. But like I like the comments and everything. It's a good background about everything about our culture. And I mean, you asked a good question. What's the first thing I thought when I heard about this woman's death? I didn't know her. And the first thing I thought was, yeah, this is expected to someone. And the reason why I felt that way is because I took the time and I like go to different YouTube channels And I just wanted to see how people were from over a year now in different countries like South Korea, Turkey, in America, of course, people are paying this money to get their bodies changed, to make them look a certain way. And they've always talked about how risky it was and all that, but people still do it. They love it. And I think it's because they're always competing.
Okay.
They're always competing subconsciously about the look and everything else.
And when you say they, who do you mean when you say they, Reginald?
I mean, I would break it down. One, I would say also why it might be going up more is because of the stimulus checks. People ain't paying student loans.
Okay.
They got extra money in their pocket.
Okay.
So now when the pandemic was about 2021, I never seen so many Black people lined up in front of Louis Vuitton stores, in front of Coach stores. I've never seen so many Black people lined up, getting the real deal $400 bags. And when I say they, I mean that in our culture seems to be the emphasis. I'm not saying for everyone. For women, it's like looks. So they go one route. For men, it might be about the money. So they go another route, whatever it takes to get the money. And what there's certain acceptance in the different genders about what you can do. So there's no flag for women to get in breast augmentation or face augmentation, liposuction, BBLs. There's no real shame in it so much, but there was I think maybe a month ago or less, a Black man who had his height extended by putting rods in his legs. And the whole internet went crazy about that. How are you gonna do that? You like, I let the dreads go, you just move on. And people might give you.
It was hard though. It was very hard. I just want to put it.
It ain't hard at all. But I think
it was hard for me.
In our culture, they would give you a lot more flack if you did something about it. Like you did a hair transplant, they'd be like, "What are you doing? You can't be doing that." I think there were some rappers, hair transplant, and they were talking about it constantly. But for women, it's not such a negative. So I think the competition is always going on. The looks and how we react to this competition. When you got the money, people will do it. And these things are expensive. So if you go to Turkey, you're talking about a difference in price of 10 to 1. You spend $5,000 in Turkey, you may spend 50 grand in the States. So that's another thing people are doing. They're traveling to these other countries. I think they call them medical tourists, and they're getting these procedures done. And they take the risk. They go to South America, Central America, they go to Europe, well, mostly just Eastern Europe, Turkey, or maybe South Korea. They get it all knocked out. And there's somewhat of an emphasis on perfectionism. If my face were a little rounded, if my ears a little bit back more, if things like, and it just doesn't stop, it just keeps building. And another thing, part of it is you got to maintain it. So if you're like 10 years later, you got to go back. You got to keep going back.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
So I'm just telling you what it's about. And this is all from looking at board certified YouTube videos, pretty graphic. They'll show you everything. Show you the procedures, having surgery. Now, there's some cases where like people have lost a lot of weight, 200 pounds. People have had diseases, cancer, car accidents. That's something different. But when it comes to, they want to just, my ears were just a little bit better. There's no limit. Whatever money you want to pay. I said my 2 cents.
Okay. Appreciate that. I see you laughing, A. What up? Oh, hold on. Is Portia, you back for more? What up, P?
I just wanted to show my face on, I didn't want y'all to be the only one.
Face. Well, look,
I'm sitting here at the pool. We in West Oakland right now, learning how to swim.
Shout out to the West. But listen, listen. Why are you showing your face? It's beautiful, by the way, as it is. It's beautiful. But I do want to put this out there for all the women on the call. Is there anything that a man can say if you are considering plastic surgery? Is there anything that a man could say, like, girl, you look good just the way you are, and build up your confidence or self-esteem to get you to reconsider? Or is it something that is so ingrained in you and how you feel about yourself that a man can't touch that. A man could not possibly persuade you. What do you all think about that? I see. It looks like Portia's shaking her head. She said no. What that mean, Pete?
Well, I really want to hear from the other women too, like, because I have so many thoughts on this, and I don't know if the other women are mothers as well, but it's literally like in your head. It's about the women, and I have a lot of self-esteem. I think that's good. Okay, I call myself Big P because I'm a heavy Chevy. I'm heavier than what I've ever been in my life, but I get attention and accolades and whatever it is. But when you, for me, and I'm sorry that this might be not too clear, but when you look a certain way your whole life, like
Okay.
my body type is like Sierra, like tall, you know what I'm saying? When you look a certain way your whole life, and then now you drastically change and you look a little different, it can mess with your mind. It really can. Not just the part, but it's like, who is this person? Like, this is not me. And I breastfed my child for a year and a half. And even after that, because your uterus shrinks down, like you get smaller. But I remember, you know, a year and a half after I had my child, I thought I was so big. Looking back now in hindsight, when I look back at the pictures when my son was a year and a half, he's 6 years old now. I was skinny. And I'm laughing at myself like, what was I thinking? It's just because your mind, you have to I guess your mind has to catch up to what changes your body is going through. Is all I'm trying to. But if you can have the most loving man, like, girl, you look good. I love that fluff on you. You know, they can hype it up, but it's like you're in a new body. You're in a whole new body. So that's just my thought.
So they can. I'm gonna get to the other people portion. I promise I will. But you're saying it's just such a personal thing that it really doesn't matter what a man says because it's so ingrained in you and you having to adjust to this new body. Wow.
That's my take on it. That's just for me personally. Like other people have their, you know, thoughts. I can imagine if a woman, which, you know, 300 pounds, and she lost a whole lot of weight. Like, I wonder what her mentality would be like. But like I said at the beginning, I've always had solid esteem, like solid self-esteem. Like, I think I look good as Big P, but it's a different me. This is a different me. So I'm like, who are you? Like, I like, you look good, girl, but you're not your normal self. So that's just all I'm trying to say.
I heard that. Okay, for sure. Thank you so much again for your candidness. We do have Janice's hand up, but first I want to get to the comments here, which the people on the YouTube channel can't see. The last one there says, it happens to men as well. That is a fact. That is Todd Parker said it happens to men as well. I know my metabolism has gone way down. I used to have a 6-pack and all the stuff, man. It's just not what it was, you know what I mean? So it is something that happens to men as we get older as well. And then Vicky said, oh, Traveling Art Factory says, what if a man says, please don't let that devil touch you? That's what the Travel Art Factory asks. And then Vicky says, if I did want cosmetic surgery, I definitely think a man I care about could persuade me to change my mind about getting it, especially if he already likes and accepts me for who I am, and especially if he already finds me attractive without the surgery. Thank you for that, Vicky, commenting in the Zoom chat. Shout out to all the people on the YouTube chat. Make some comments there. I'll get to that in just 1 second. But meanwhile, hey, Janice, thank you for your patience. Go right ahead.
Hey, now, like Portia had said, I'm ingrained about getting my nose done because I have this where it had broke when I was 6, this kind of bone, that lump that, you know, you can see. And I started paying attention to it when I was like about 10 or 11. And I had asked my parents, where did I get that? And they said, well, you broke your nose when you were 6. And I didn't remember that at all. But I'm kind of self-conscious about this bump. or which is my bone. It's not a bump, it's actually my bone, because it was never reset. I guess that's the best way of putting it.
Mhm.
And, you know, every time I take a picture, the first thing I see is that, you know, bone or out my nose. So my brothers have said no. David has said no, but I'm going to do it. I just have to afford to
Did you
do
say
it.
David? Did
This
you
is
say
not,
David? Did you say David has said no?
yeah.
Who was who's David?
Oh, I'm sorry. My fiance.
Okay, you gotta brief us on these things. I don't we don't know David. But okay, so your brother has said no, your fiance has also said no, but you are saying yes. That's what it sounds like.
Yes, yes,
And why? Because it's so personal. Is that it has
yeah.
nothing to
This
do
is
with
so
that.
personal,
Okay.
and that, you know, it makes me feel self-conscious.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so and it's your nose, you know, people see it, you know, you can't hide your nose. So I think I would just look better if I had it done. But I'm not interested in, you know, tummy tucks or um, BB,
BBL.
BBLs or anything like that. I'm just interested in having my nose done.
Okay. Well, once again, thank you so much for your candidness. Um, I'm gonna ask a question. What if you get your nose done and David is just like, I like the old one better. Will that matter?
He's going to just have to man up.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you for that. Thank you for
Uh-huh.
the question. Okay, for sure. What's up, A? What you got, A?
I think it depends, but mostly I would say yes. If like if you have someone who's sick, okay, let me preface it. I feel like it depends on your personality and it depends on what it is, right? So if it's visible, like she's saying her nose, if it's visible, sometimes it's hard for someone else to convince you to change your mind just because you're the person carrying this thing. Like you're going everywhere with it, everyone's seeing it, and you may feel self-conscious about it. So it depends. But more likely than not, I feel that if a significant person in your life lets you know that you don't need it, you're probably you're gonna think about it twice. And it's so funny you mentioned that because I was thinking about it. I was watching her because I didn't really know her, and I was watching her YouTube channel, and I saw this amazing, beautiful spirit. Like usually people who do BBLs, they're kind of like that city girl type
Okay.
of, yeah, like a young Miami type person who's just like, yeah, I'm about to do me. At least in my mind, that's kind of how I pictured her to be. But then I go on her page and I'm looking at her page and she's about family and she's about her children. And you can tell that her personality per se is not the kind that's just like wants a mummy makeover because she wants to be vain. So for someone like that, whose personality is not necessarily just for the vanity of it, when you're with a partner who vocalizes that they like you as you are, it carries a lot of weight. And it's one of those things where it's like, well, if you like me, you're the only person I really want anyway. So if you like me as I am, then I'm good. Like this is my safest place. And if you're telling me I'm okay and I'm good and you like everything about me, then who am I really trying to please by doing something that my partner likes? So I think it probably depends on the personalities and maybe it depends on the where it is too, how visible it is.
Okay. So we have a new caller, Traveling Art Factory, first time caller. Hey, what's up? You wanted to chime in? This would be a wild card. What up?
Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I'd say, I think if you look at the Bible, and I think if you look at Jesus Christ, I think he said he made us in his image.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we are perfect and we do not need to change ourselves, particularly with surgery.
Mm.
So I think it's a matter of confidence and loving yourself.
Okay.
And
Cool.
I heard you say before, embracing your bald head.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Embracing your imperfections and loving yourself for who you are is the way to go. And for the girl that was talking about her nose, I actually have some experience with that. I had an ex-girlfriend
Okay.
who felt that way about her nose. And I tried to tell her it gives you character, you look beautiful, please don't do anything. But she she had it in her head she had to do it. And she did end up doing it. She didn't regret it though. She didn't regret it. And as far as I know, she's happy with it. It was something in her mind that had always bothered her. And other people don't see it. They could say, you're gorgeous. But this is something that has bothered her whole life. And she got the money and she did it. So I said, okay. And you know what? I'm not going to judge. I got vitiligo. They
Mm.
say they got ointments for that. They got this and that. I don't care. But some people do. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Right on. Right on. Thank you for the share.
Thank you.
All right, for sure. And that is Traveling Art Factory. Yeah, aka Jesse Austin Lewis. I've been sent a message. Okay, for sure. Anyone else on that? Is it a personal issue, or can your significant other kind of sway you? Anyone else on that?
You know what?
What's
Um,
up?
I've been, especially with me being in education, working with young people, and especially after again the pandemic. I'm in the South Bay, and we went 100% virtual that whole year.
Mm-hmm.
So now, and I'm working with fourth and fifth graders who are experiencing, due to their experience being cooped up with, say, some older siblings, they
Mm-hmm.
think they've sort of
Oh,
earned the right as third graders to go through middle school stuff.
mm,
Definitely don't have the mind and critical thinking and brain development. They just got exposed to it, being at home, social media, all kind of stuff on TV, reality shows, and now their self-esteem is so shot. But I've been working in education over 20 plus years, and in all levels, facets, high school, coaching, and everything. And I'm here to tell you that I say this not only for them with the hopes that they'll catch up to them later, but even some of my adult friends or whatever that are attached to it. Find the like in someone who likes you,
mm,
because what happens is I think a lot of our adult preferences that soon become hangups, because you can prefer something so hard that it becomes a hangup.
mm.
Like you said, Brother Porter, oh, you in your mind, you thought women preferred guys with the waves. So hard that you got hung up on it, that they think you couldn't be an attractive dude bald. We all got them. We all get preferences so hard. Portia, you was talking about it too, where you're a different you and couldn't fathom that you could be just as attractive as a new you. You know, yeah, we all age, our metabolism, it's new puberty. So things get and awkward and like I don't want to go through what I did at 12, 13. It's like, oh my God, but you made it through. So with that being said, we also got to make our transition into what we thought we were supposed to be attracted to. What we thought,
Mhm.
remember in school when, man, I like this person, but not everybody like her. And I don't
Mhm.
want to be the one getting out there and say, I like this dark girl. I like this
Ooh,
big girl. I like this
love
girl
them
who's an
big girls.
athlete.
Sorry, I'm
You
sorry.
know, no, look, you and me both. And guess why I like big girls? Because they like me back. It wasn't the cheerleader girl. It wasn't the one that all the dudes was going after. But I'm in
Talk
physics
about
class and the big girl giving me an eye, and I'm like, well, who am I to turn it away? And then the
it.
next thing I know, in college, the big girl is I'm like, wait a minute, but I'm a little dude, and I'm thinking, like, why do you like me? And I came to the determination, like, you know what? Maybe the big girl's thinking I ain't that big because look at this little dude liking me. And I'm thinking I'm a little dude. I can't be that little. Look at the big girl liking me. And over time, hopefully we all get to a point where find the like in someone who likes you. And
Mm,
which the deeper part is, why don't you like this person?
okay.
Why can't you be attracted to this person?
Mhm.
Why? Like, ask yourself, do some real deep self-reflection in going, I got to get this, I got to get that, cosmetic, this and makeup, whatever length that you think you need to go through, and not even knowing, but I don't want to attract that type.
Mhm.
I don't know if this is the space to bring it up, but when Kevin Samuels was all in in the air, floating up throughout the ethosphere, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's tearing women down." And
Mhm.
little that people would, send me a video, get my take on it. I'm like, are y'all listening to the content or the delivery? Because
Um,
what he basically saying is, if you think this guy with all these attributes is the one to go after, no matter what, then be ready to embrace all that comes along with his personality.
right.
And while you chasing after him and he's dodging you and everybody that look like you and he chasing something else, you're going past someone who actually giving you some good rhythm.
Mhm.
Find the like in somebody who likes you back. Instead of everybody going for the 6'2", $100,000 Beamer, I should too. He got to be 6 feet. You 5'3".
Mhm.
Why you just want him taller than you in heels? If you got on 4-foot stilettos, a 5'9" dude is good enough. But you think I'm supposed to go? So I think we all, again, at some point, need to reevaluate what we really like and
Mm,
figure out, you know what I like is in this person right here.
mhm.
And if they like you back, I mean, I know love and lust, that's a whole nother conversation. But when you like a person,
Mhm.
that's stronger than a lot of people want to give credit for.
Right.
And we just missing the boat a lot of times. We thinking, again, big booties is the season. Let me go get one.
Okay. Okay. No, that's heavy. Vicky said in this chat, the content or the delivery. That's a great distinction, Todd. Thanks for breaking it down. Thanks for breaking down that point so deeply. Nisi says, retweet, find the like in someone who likes you. I think that we are in a society that is it's about getting to that next level, capitalism, rising through the corporate ladder, that people have a hard time, what they call it, stay in your league, right? Like the guy wants a 10, you know what I'm saying? Even though he's not qualified to have a dime piece, right? And it's the same thing, vice versa. And so I think that is a great message, but I think it's very hard for people to hear in a society that's so based on ambition, that's so based on getting to that next level. And, we buy things that we can't afford. We take loans for things that we want and we don't need. And we want the absolute best. or what we consider the best to be. And I think that's where the conflict is. That people just like, no, I want the one that everyone wants. And so here you are in a foreign country where you wouldn't even drink water, but you're letting someone dissect your body for cheap. Like it is, my goodness, it's a tough situation that we are in. A lot of women are going to Mexico. A lot of women are going to other, country, the Dominican Republic, right? And I'm wondering, so the person, back to Jackie O, the doctor who allegedly it has not been confirmed that she passed away due to cosmetic surgery, but it's heavily implicated. She said that she was on her way to get it. She was found in her hotel room unresponsive. So the cause of death hasn't been officially released, but one can assume that it has something to do with the surgery. The person who did it, the doctor, was not board certified, okay? That has been disclosed. And so I'm wondering, moving forward with this, because we talked about why the demand is there, but do we try to clean up this industry and make it so people are certified, or do we just try to shut it down completely and have some kind of sanctions on doctors that do it? And yeah, like what do we do? Do we clean it up, or do we shut it down? What do people think about that and about the doctor not being certified?
Well, my 2 cents, you need more doctors who are
Or
board
doctors that do
certified.
these operations, or just, what do you mean?
Like right now, the reason why people do these surgeries in these foreign countries, or it's because it's just too expensive. There are not enough doctors. So doctors are charging so much money. Now you can say, well, when we want them to not do any surgeries, I don't know. That's like telling people to stop doing crack cocaine. They're still doing it. They're
Hey, but
still out there doing it. They're still selling it.
it's against the law though, right? It's against the law. No, I'm saying it's against the law. You get found with crack, you go to prison. Like it's I don't think it's not the same thing. Like the seller and the user, you both go to prison for doing crack. It's not the same with BBLs.
Yeah, and that's why I mentioned it, that such extreme punishments, they want it. They still want it. They still want the crack cocaine. And so when it comes to, if you made it illegal for doctors to perform it, they'll be doing it in the back of an alley.
Okay.
And so then you're going to have a higher risk of people dying because they're going to find their own way of getting to what they want. So I think that you can try to tell people anything that they don't need this. Like, you don't need drugs. You can still have a good life without drugs. I mean, that's the same argument. But then it's like, you don't need to have this BBL. Well, that's the same argument. And then so to me, that's a bigger problem. That's very long term. In the short term, if you want to save lives, I would just get as many board certified doctors out there so they don't have to go broke to get what they want.
Okay.
And then you'll save lives immediately. But if people want to do another way, I don't know. And the one thing about Todd, he said, it's like the end of season. And I am, like I said, I've looked into it for years. They literally do have multiple surgeries in South Korea. What is the in shape now in their face? What is the in shape now in their head? And but I will always distinguish from someone who had an accident, like the woman mentioned with her nose. That's a whole another thing. But when people are just like, there's nothing wrong with your body, they just want to be in trend. And it's part of the competition. And in a bigger picture, to me, it's really a society that doesn't deal with aging well. In the past, different civilizations, they embrace aging and looked up to it. They put it in their statutes. Older people, it was something more to be respected. But today, everyone wants to look like they're in their 20s and 30s forever. And I don't care what, you never got touched, you look beautiful, whatever. Give it time and you're going to see a change. There is no escaping that. And then yet people want to delay it forever. And you're just going to lose. Unless you leave early, you're just going to lose. So that was my 2 cents.
Okay, appreciate it. What's up, Lawrence?
Yeah, so I was just thinking, part of me wonders maybe it's misdiagnosing the problem.
Oh,
So
okay.
maybe one of the changes that could be implemented beyond trying to ensure that more people that are performing these operations are adequately credentialed, maybe a part you could also implement in that process would to be like an evaluation on the person that's actually like getting the surgery if they're exploring it, like taking a holistic like snapshot of like how is your health right now aside from this. Are you experiencing, after hearing some of the women on this call speak, I was just thinking, I learned, not experience, but I didn't know postpartum depression was a thing, right?
Hmm.
And what if that could be linked to someone that's considering getting a procedure, and it's like that has gone undiagnosed, but it's
Hmm.
manifesting itself in a cosmetic procedure that someone might want to take. It's like we can provide this to you if you want to, but at the same time, if there's a health concern that's here, be it mental health or something else emotionally, like can we also make sure that we address that before we take alterations to like a body or you go down that path? I don't know if there are instances of people, because men are also getting some of these operations as well, not BBL specifically, but I wonder if there are people that might benefit from a different type of service and may not decide to continue with some of these operations if they had been given the opportunity to disclose that or have that question posed to them.
Okay, okay.
Can I respond to that real quick, Mr. Porter?
Definitely can. You definitely can. Go ahead, Portia.
Was that Lawrence talking?
That was Lawrence talking. Yep.
Okay, that Lawrence, that is a great point and a great question. And I just wanted to add that when I went down to the minimal invasive surgery place, you have to fill out a questionnaire, and on that questionnaire, they just ask you, why are you considering the surgery? Have you ever had surgery before? So those are whole intake process. I wonder, my question is, I wonder when they turn people around and tell them, no, you can't get this because of the type of response. That's what I wonder. But they do ask questions to see where your head is at. So that's what I want to add.
Okay, right on. Appreciate that. Hey, Adwa, is that an old hand or a new hand? I don't know.
It's a new hand.
New hand, go ahead.
Okay. So I think it's great that we're having this conversation, but I really feel like we need to get to the why. Like we really need to get to the bottom of the why, because why are people doing this? Like, why are they really taking the chance to go under the knife? People don't even want to go and get surgery for things that actually will fix their health conditions. They don't want to do that, but they will jump at the chance of going to get fat that is naturally not from a part of your body put there. Like, why are people going to the extent of doing this? And if we can get to the bottom of that, then we don't have to worry about how many doctors there are. We don't have to worry about all these other, even though those are great remedies as well. I feel like the why is more important. I was thinking about it, and I feel like sometimes people do it even for survival. It's not just vanity. People do it because they feel like that's the only way that they can make money. OnlyFans, someone put OnlyFans in the chat. OnlyFans is a big thing now. There are people who are making millions.
Okay.
So instead of me going to, if let's say my choice of a career is, let's say, working at McDonald's, and I can go get a BBL and become a millionaire, then that's what I'm going to do, right? Not personally, but just in general. So we need to really figure out why people are taking the chance they are at getting these procedures. If it's a mental health issue, if it's a financial issue, if it is a self-esteem issue, what is it, so that we can fix that and not just put a Band-Aid on a wound and just call it a day, but actually cleaning the wound out, making sure that that wound heals so that that person can actually live a fulfilling life. So.
And that's something that's going to be different for each person. The why is potentially right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, for sure. Appreciate that. I had Nisi in the chat that says people often get a mental health screening for cosmetic surgery. I'm a therapist. and have a brief assessment to do tomorrow. Okay. How about that? And Janice says, yes, the Chinese PS gave me a form with a lot of mental questions. His fee is 15,000. What is a PS? What's happening here? What's up, Janice? What's going on? I'm missing the lingo there. Oh, maybe you can clarify. Okay.
Plastic surgeon.
Oh, okay. Wow. 15,000, huh?
Yeah,
Okay. Wow, man.
it's
Wow.
not cheap.
It's not cheap.
No.
My goodness, but it's something you've always wanted.
Yeah.
So there you go. Oh my goodness. Okay. So it's very important. The why is very important. Get to the bottom of the why. It could be different for everyone. I was wondering, and this is, of course, from my standpoint as a man, because I'm big on Black men and Black women talking to one another, uplifting one another, building, etc., and so forth. There seems to be a problem with if a brother says that he likes a woman the way that she is, it almost seems like that's a diss, almost like I've been accused of hotepping, like for having a preference of natural hair, natural body, natural skin. And I'm just wondering what is the brother's role is, not necessarily other, but maybe your brother, father, etc. Because when we talk about the why, how much of that low self-esteem is cultivated before the internet, before people get to the outside of the world from the people around you? And I'm wondering how much of this has to do with your potential suitors, right? Brothers that may, like you or not like you, or say things about you and shape how you feel about yourself. Because I'm on one hand, I'm inclined to think that we still have that say so, right? Not that say so, but we can still kind of build a woman up. But like in reality, it seems like the power that we once had is not what we just no longer have that. And there's that thing of like, once again, like if a woman, it seems as though if a woman wears a weave, if a woman gets cosmetic surgery or whatever, it almost seems as though it's not to compete for a man, but to compete with other women. And I'm totally open to being wrong on this. I want everyone to say how you feel. If you disagree, please feel free to disagree. But I'm wondering, yeah, what is a man's role in all of this? Is that outside of a man's realm, or is that something that he can possibly impact? I know we touched on this before, but I want to be explicit in this right now. And is that offensive if a man says, "Girl, don't do that"? No, right? What's up, Reg? John Old.
I think the role for man, how would I put it? It's a idiom. Action speaks louder than words.
Mm-hmm.
So what I see is women in our culture, Black women tend to stand by waiting for men to approach them, and therefore they get immediate feedback. What is actually in? What are men looking for? Because they're going to be standing there, one woman versus another woman. And so man can say, oh, that doesn't matter, this, and that. Women, but everyone can see who's getting approached, who's being asked out, and all that stuff happens. So I don't think in the end, they're going to do much of anything in terms of, unless you are going to go out with that woman who doesn't have the big butt or the whatever, the BBL. People are going to just judge you on that. And then, I mean, and
I will.
that's, and I would, one thing I would add, like, I do prefer a more natural look, and here's my own personal reason about it. After looking at all these videos and on YouTube about everything from makeup to having surgeries, and here's one of the things I tell you about culture too. In Japan, women openly at the take their daughters to have surgery on their eyes at the age of 6.
Oh, wow.
So they just say it's no hidden thing. Like eyes, bigger eyes are pretty. They will take their daughters at the age of like 6, and I like. There's a video of, you can talk to some plastic surgeon talking about it. So
6
it's a
years old.
culture thing.
Wow.
But and so in their culture, it's perfectly acceptable to do something like that. But in yeah, I think it's just a matter of if you're going to act the way you speak, are you going to back it up? And I prefer a more natural look because then I know what I'm getting. I don't know. I don't want to worry about all this other stuff. Is this real? I just want to know what's basic and normal. And that tells me what that person also thinks about that I'm enough.
Okay.
That's it.
I feel you. It just seems as though that is increasingly outside of a man's place to say that he has that preference. And once again, I'm totally open to being wrong here. Anyone else have a take, hot take, cold take, any take at all on that?
Could we expand that question? So beyond just a man's take, like your peers or your family or even your community, right? Because for some people, like if we're talking about self-esteem or just your experience with affirmation, maybe it's not coming from a man. Maybe that hasn't been your experience, but there are other people that maybe could have like given you an affirmation that might lead to a different outcome. But if your experience has been that across the board, all these experiences from these different parties are driving you to want to try to like change yourself, then I wouldn't be surprised that that a man's voice or even a sister's voice or a community's voice wouldn't act as, it wouldn't hold weight to change my decision to move forward with one of these things.
Okay. You're saying if it's true across the board, then it wouldn't matter what a man has to say if everyone's saying the same thing?
If I've never received that affirmation from that particular group, then I'm not going to put stock in that voice. You know what I mean? So it's not just a men's voice per se. Maybe it's implicating other aspects of the community as a whole.
Thank you.
I was gonna add to that. It's definitely like a cultural thing. Like I'm originally from the deep South, from Mobile, Alabama. And you are considered fine if you stacked. You know what I'm saying? You're thick, bigger than a Coke bottle shape. I mean, you thick. And out here, you're considered fine by your face, like how your face looked. Like, oh, she's fine because her face. But down south, if you got legs, hips, breast and butt and back and all that, you're fine. And like growing up, I was, like I said, I was a stick. I was skinny, and my girl cousins would always make fun of you, fun of me, and say, "Oh, you just po and skinny and this and that and blah 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 blah," and they would just rank on me, and I think as a kid, I'm like, "Oh, I can't wait to get older because I'm gonna be fine and thick when I get older." But but it's crazy how like culture plays into, your mentality. I don't know how it was out here growing up or wherever you guys are from, but in the deep South, you were fine and beautiful if you was big and thick.
But now you are big and thick, and it seems like you got a problem with it. What's going on?
You know what I'm saying? Extra large around these parts, but I used to be a medium, so I'm just embracing it. I'm embracing it.
Oh, gee, I'm just saying, it seems like you fulfilled your dream now.
Stop it.
Dreams change.
Yeah, I guess dreams change. Okay, there you go. What's up, A? What's up with all these gestures and facial expressions? What you talking about over there?
Like, I mean, let's keep it real. Like, as women,
Let's do it.
Gaze, the male gaze is a real thing. Like, let's all the way real.
Even when it's G-A-Z-E, you all, G-A-Z-E. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like, because even when women are competing with each other, it's because we're competing with each other to see who's going to be on top for that man. I'm not competing. You're not. I don't need you in my bed. Like I'm not worried about you. I'm just competing with you to see who's going to be on top for that guy. That's what it is. So,
whoa.
No.
Wait. You said I don't need you in my bed, talking about the guy, right?
Women, like I'm not worried about you. Like when I'm competing with so we've been talking about women competing with each other when it comes to looks, when it comes to like, it's a competition between women. Yes, it is. And it's only a competition because we are chosen, right? Quote unquote, like men, when it comes to a relationship, yes, you choose a man back. But if a man don't want you, you can choose him all you want, and it's not going to happen. Okay. So a man is the one that kind of does, I would say, the final choosing. And because of that, women compete with each other. So we're the ones that are chosen. That's what it is. So a man's validation means a lot more, especially for a girl, for a woman. A man's validation, and I don't like to use the word validation because that's not quite what it is, but we are communal beings. And because of that, the people who matter to you, their words matter too. And so when they can see you and they validate you and your presence and your value, it means a lot more. So when you were talking about fathers, when you were talking about uncles, when you were talking about the males in our life, when they speak onto you and they say, girl, you fine. I don't care who you are. If my daddy tells me I'm fine, who are you to tell me I'm not? So those things they're seeds that are planted in us when you're younger. And when you have a void of a male figure in your life to plant these seeds in you, you grow up looking for it, searching for it in different, in men. And the thing about it is, your lack of is your driver to find a man who's actually gonna be unavailable. It's sad, but it's like the cycle that happens. And that's why I was talking about the why. Why are you specifically doing this? Is it because you have daddy issues? Is it because you don't have a man in your life to really speak into your life, to let you understand that you are beautiful as you are? That starts when you're 2. It starts when you're 1. It starts when you're crawling and you hit you. Like it starts young, so that it becomes so second nature that you don't even have the energy to have an argument with someone who doesn't see you as valuable. Like, what? I don't have time for you. My daddy told me this when I was 2. I know this. I've been hearing this. So yeah, the why is very important. The why is very important. And if we as women can't at least admit that we do this for the men, not necessarily, yes, yeah, in some respect, yeah, for them, then we really would, we would be dishonest.
It's for the men. Thank you for that. Janice says double truth. Any takes on that? Anyone agree or disagree with that sentiment?
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, I think I agree with what she's saying, because that's what I was talking about earlier, was that man approaching women or looking at a certain woman gives his status to that individual woman in that group. And it's always been that way. Despite all the new cultural, women have advanced and they have careers, we still haven't changed that. Women typically do not approach a man, a stranger at a club or a social gathering, that I think you're attractive. It still continues to be this one-way street. And that's the power that men have without having to say anything. Just the fact that you just walk over there and start talking to a certain woman out of all these other women, or this certain woman keeps getting approached by all these other men. It's like I said, action speaks a lot louder than words. And I will do one thing I would disagree about in terms of, it's said over and over, and it's more controversial. Beauty is an individual thing. One man's treasure is another man's trash. So that's another thing, that you got to find someone who you like, And you got to worry then about, do they like you? And that's the cliff that people have to walk off on. Like, if you go as a man, typically in our culture, you take that risk. And if you get rejected, you're expected to man up and take it. And it always is going to hurt. Now, and my own mother, a Black woman, she said she tried that one time. And the man said, no, no, thank you. She never did it again. This is a woman.
Oh, she tried to approach a man one time, you said.
Yes, exactly. And then later on, she got married to my father, and they were married for almost 50 years. But that one experience of being rejected, it was so hurtful. She never wanted to do it again, and she never did. And so that's a part of the play going on that goes around over and over and over and over. Unless, now here's a big suggestion. If women want to approach a man, I love it. But that's the risk of rejection, and that hurts.
And so we talk about the difference in genders and how that hurts, and women tend to be more sensitive. Of course, for men, that is a part of the game. You will be turned down. You will be rejected. She will say no. And you just gotta keep hollering.
So I'll chime in too,
What's
because
up, Pete?
I said I'll chime in too, because I actually had that happen to a friend. She tried to approach a guy, and she's beautiful, and the guy was handsome, and the guy was like, "Girl, bye." Like, what? Like, no. And so she got her feelings hurt. But anyhow, I wanted to piggyback on what Ajan, I'm sorry, Ajoya?
Ajwa.
Ajwa. That's such a beautiful name, Ajwa. Is it French? I just like saying that. Is it?
No, it's Ghanaian. It's from Ghana, West Africa.
Oh, it's beautiful, Ajwa. Okay, so you are 100% correct when you're talking about it's for the men. Like, people, we like to compete too. Women like to compete too, and it's like, how many men is following after you, or how many men are calling you? But I think it's also monetary, especially nowadays with the social media. How, we see a certain body type, and they're going on these trips, and they're getting all these nice cars and houses and things like that. And it's almost like monkey see, monkey do. You're like, okay, this girl got her body done. I don't have the money for it, but let me go get this loan, this surgery loan to go get it. But then I'll get this Instagram account and all these followers, and then I'll pay for it. And it's like a cycle of that right now. So someone mentioned it earlier, but this is definitely the season for that. But I think a lot of it has to do, like currently, I think a lot of it has to do with the monetary gains that you can get from looking aesthetically the way that these women look. But and with that being said, I'm not sure if that's going to slow down, because there's always some kind of trend that's going to make money. Like you guys said, like the women in Asia, they get their eyes done because they may have a chance to be a model or like a movie star. So it's trends for different places. And you guys see this little one right here. Let me get on that. But that's all I wanted to say.
Right on. Appreciate that, Pete. My goodness. Wow. Yes, is very, very, very fascinating. The money part, I understand. I think I feel you. The idea, I mean, I guess if you say it's for men, sure, I get it, but I just know a few examples, and these are anecdotal, of a man telling his woman, yo, you're fine, you're good. And she's like, no, I'm still going to get it. I don't know the inner workings of DC Young Fly and the sister Jackie O, but I have a hard time with him saying to her, even though she had 3 kids for him, your body is not up to standard. Or with Kanye West's mom was 57 years old, and she got a tummy tuck and all of these things and ended up passing away. I don't know that Kanye was just like, Mom, you slipping, Mom. I mean, I don't know. It's really interesting, but I don't expect this to be solved tonight. I'm going to wrap this up. Shout out to all my people on the East Coast who have stayed up late. Does anyone want to say anything in closing before we wrap this thing on up? Anything that you're not going to be able to, Nisi says East Coast, you're not going to be able to sleep at night if you don't get this off your chest. What y'all got? What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? And going once, going twice. All right, look, check this out, y'all. Awkward Black Tribe, that is the meetup. Awkward Black Tribe is the email. Awkward Black Tribe is the YouTube. Please subscribe to the tribe. We have so many more events coming up, so reach out to us, and we're going to have more of these Thursday night live sessions. So I want to thank everyone who stood on the call. That's Reginald, Janice, Nisi, Vicky, Lawrence, Ajwa, and Portia. That's what it is. Thank you all. Peace, tribe. And another one. We out. Peace. We out, y'all.
Thank you, Porter. It's nice to meet everybody. Nice meeting you.
So welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. That was
Yes,
cool.
thank you. Thank you,
Thank you. Good night,
Porter.
everybody.
Thank you, Porter.
Peace. All right, y'all.